Okay, guys, nice to have you all here tonight. We're going to start. It's going to be a little bit more relaxed this time around, and we've learned a lot from the previous sessions. I firstly want to just thank Kobus Visser. Kobus is not only my coach with the webinars and business. You know, he's become a very good friend, and if it was not for a good coach such as Kobus, I wouldn't have been able to set up all these webinars with all these fancy tricks and things that go. I want to tell you guys, I've got a ring light on this side, I've got a ring light on this side, I've got a big screen here. You know, I really feel magnificent with all this stuff. And then the best of all is, I want to thank you that you did come and listen to me. I feel honored, and it's for me, it's a privilege. And I promise you one thing. I'm going to give you value tonight, and you're going to be able to walk away with the Reinvent 7 secrets and some tips to change your life. Okay. Welcome to the program that's going to reinvent your life. I have met a person with the name Peter Daniels about, I would say, 30 years ago. And that was the first real big reinvention I saw, and it also reinvented my life. Now, I have to tell you about Peter Daniels because he's probably the best example of somebody that reinvented his life. He's an Australian guy. When he was 27, he was unemployed. His father was unemployed, and his grandfather was unemployed. So you can imagine the circumstances in which he did grow up. He also did have a bit of a hearing problem, and he failed nearly every standard in school. The teacher would take him by the ear and say, "Peter Daniels, you're a bad, bad boy, and you'll never amount to anything." And you can imagine the hurt, as well as how he felt in front of all his friends, and what scars he did carry with himself. But when he was 27, he walked into a Billy Graham tent where Billy Graham was preaching, and he was so impressed with the way that Billy Graham spoke that he decided he also wants to become a public speaker, having tried all sorts of jobs, falling in and out of it, etc. But his father and his friends and even his pastor said to him, "Peter, you'll never be able to be a public speaker because you haven't got the vocabulary, you failed nearly every standard in school, you know, just don't try it." But if people tell you it cannot be done, the one lesson I have learned through all my years, and I'm 64 now, and I've got a long list of experience and lessons, is if people tell you it cannot be done, then do it, because then I can tell you it can be done. But he started practicing and exercising, talking in a mirror to himself, talking on a mic, watching TV personalities talk, reading books. And when he was 30 at last year, I had the opportunity to talk in front of a Sunday school for 20 minutes. And after 12 minutes, he had a blackout. And everybody said to him again, "You see, Peter Daniels, you won't be able to do it." But he kept on going. He had the determination and the consistency of practicing, and he started getting a breakthrough at the age of 33. Now that's 6 years from when he started. But obviously, you know, he had a bit of a backlog. When he was 51, I had the privilege to listen to Peter Daniels. He was then the highest paid international speaker in the world. And he was a director of 151 companies worldwide. Now, you must remember, this was in less than 20 years since he got his first breakthrough. So it can be done. If it can be done for somebody that didn't have any education, that failed nearly every standard in school, that was unemployed until 27, what can you do? What is the amazing abilities that's locked up in yourself? It can be done. Now, the truth of where we are now is because of our beliefs and decisions. We grow up with all the inputs into our mind, and especially into our subconscious mind, from all the people around us, the school, the church, our parents, family, friends, and the people we actually mix with, as well as television and whatever it is. And that creates neural pathways that actually causes us to believe certain things, whether it's true or not. Also, it depends on how much we wanted something else. If we didn't really want something else seriously, we won't move forward. I remember when Peter Daniels was in Pretoria and he spoke, he asked me in the audience, some question came up and he asked me, how much money can you make as a town planner? And I said, I think I can make R1 million if I really stretch it. And he said to me, but if I take your wife and daughter and I say they are going to be hijacked and taken away and murdered if you don't make 5 million, will you be able to make 5 million? And I said to him, yes, definitely, I'll be able to make 5 million. I will make a plan. I will even lie, steal, and kill, but I'll make a plan. And that's what he tried to prove. It depends how much you want something else in your life. And then we get different views on personal development. And there's a lot of programs. And one can say, but why you as well in personal development? Well, there is hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people doing it worldwide, but there's millions of people needing it. And in my case, the personal development program, my Reinvent 7 Secrets, it's based on real experience, and I'm going to show it to you just now. It is practical. It can be done by anybody. It's measurable. And it is tested, people friendly. And it's for all walks of life. And it's my way to change the world. It's been one of my values my whole life long, is to make a difference. Make a difference in people's lives, make a difference in organizations, and that is my passion. Now, what I want to give to you today is to share my life experience with you, because you will get some lessons out of it, and you will also be able to, with that, you will be able to associate with it as well, to provide you with a framework to achieve your dream life, some practical tips, and then to open your mind for bigger opportunities, and a few other things as well. Now, I grew up in a house in Welkom, a mining town. It's a little municipal house. In today's terms, we call it a hop house. It's the subsidized houses for poorer families. Now, in that house was 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and as you can see, not really a garage. And a servant's quarter. We were 11 people in that house, in that 3-bedroom house. And my mother and father shared 1 bedroom, and the other 9 of us were in the other 2 bedrooms and everywhere in the house in the servant's quarters. My bed was in the dining room, and it was actually not bad, because that's what I was used to. I've got the amazing memory of my mother coming in very early in the morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. She would bake 20 breads at a time, because she had to make samis for all of us that goes to work or school. And then she would make coffee for me, and I'll sit in the bed and we'll talk, just because she's just around the corner in the kitchen. But we were 11 people, 8 children, and my grandmother's sister also stayed with us. And by the way, my mother in her whole life didn't have a servant. And luckily she had a lot of children to help, but you can imagine. So what happened from there to the Centurion Golf Estate, where I live now, in this luxury golf estate, in all the comfort I can wish for, what happened? It was all the things I want to share with you today that actually took me from the house in Welkom to where I am today. And there's some good lessons in it. And I'm going to share with you these lessons. And the reason I'm going to roll it through so that you can see a lot of the things I've done is so that I can just confirm that I've got the experience to assist people to change their lives. Just a moment. So listen to the music, because it's also one of my favorite songs. When it rolls through, sorry, I just want to open it up. There's the music. Listen to it. You won't be able to read all of it, but it will give you an idea what happened in the last 64 years with me. Oh boy, sorry guys. I wanted to get clever here and go to the notes. So I'm going to play it again, just to make sure you did pick up everything. We've got time tonight. Okay, guys, that just gives you an idea. I had a very good full life with lots of successes, but a lot of things that did go wrong, a lot of failures. I don't like to call it failures. A failure is when you stop trying. So if things go wrong and you lose everything, that happened to me twice in my life, I call it a temporary setback. That's also what Peter Daniels taught me. Failure is if you completely stop to try any further. Now, where do you fit into the following? Do you feel desperate or disappointed with your achievements in life and regret your current situation? And that we all sometime or another get there, but some of you might just feel more like that than others. Or have you achieved a lot in life but lost your way for whatever reason and stopped pursuing your dreams? Now that happens specifically with me. I did learn a lot from Peter Daniels, and at the same time I read the book of John Q on mind power, which transformed my life. And for quite a few years I had an amazing run and a lot of success, and I had life goals. I'll share it with you just now. And then a few things happened to me, and because I tried to do it on my own, everything just fizzled out, and I was back into the rut where I just worked every day and I didn't pursue my dreams anymore. So that can happen to a lot of us. And then thirdly, or did you just in some stage of your life decided consciously or unconsciously that success, economic freedom, or whatever goals you had is not for you? And there's a lot of people that think, they either not allowed, or they don't have the ability, or they will never get to financial freedom. And that anyone can get to financial freedom. And then lastly, whether you are a junior employee or a CEO of a big company, if any of the above apply to you, then this session will be the start of your new dream life. I want to ask you to just type in which of those, A, B, or C, do you think where you fit in? Where are you at the moment? Is it A, B, or C? If you can just type in the box for us, A, B, or C, please. Renee, I see you are typing. Thanks for that. B. yeah, so you achieved a lot of things in life, and then you just lost your way. Same that happened with me as well. Thanks for that. Kobus as well, also B. Thanks. Thanks, Renee. Thanks, Kobus. Anybody else? Willie, also B. Yeah, so it seems like, we got people here. Nick as well. We got a nice audience here. You amazing people that actually will understand what happened to me, and you will be able to associate with some of the things I'm going to share. Now, the 7 secrets I want to share with you, I'm just going to give you a rundown. Firstly is we must have unlimited dreams. The second secret is you must have the right coach. And then you must have clear written vision, goals, and mindset. Fourthly, you must be part of a team and a community that support you and carry you. You must be accountable and have accountability. And there must be consistency. And lastly, you must develop skills and knowledge. It's no use just talking about dreams and stuff, but we don't do anything. Okay, so secret number 1, unlimited dreams. I'd like to know what is the dreams in your life. And I want to say that everything in life starts with a thought. And if we nurture it and it becomes a dream, it can later become reality as well. Now, something about dreams and fantasies. It is so nice to be able to dream and have a fantasy about anything. You can go and sit and say, I'm retired, I'm rich, I'm wearing nice island white clothes, and my hair is long, and I'm working in a little cafe in Positano. And this is how it's going to be one day when I'm older. And while you're doing it, a lot of interesting things happen with you. You are enjoying it. It is actually, your mind is enjoying it as well. And it is as if you are going on a nice little holiday. There's so many things to say about daydreaming and the benefits of it. I think one of the things I will always remember is when I did long distance running in school, I always did dream about how I was winning. And while I was running in the afternoons, over the weekends, I would dream I'm at the stadium full of people and I'm running and I'm winning. And I had the benefit of the feeling I did get with that. It was so nice for me, and that we can do with anything in our lives. If it's weight, we can think that we are actually now into our target weight and how we look and what we dress in. If it's about money, we can dream about that as well. But I would the one thing you can take home tonight is go make time to dream. Daydreaming is often about anticipating the future. We do daydream in order to try and create our future going forward. And then they say when you get older, you daydream less. And I think it's got to do with the fact that people think their life is sort of getting to an end. Now, I listened to John Keogh, the amazing writer of Mind Power, a book you can write down, Mind Power. You can go and Google it and get it. It changed my life 30 years ago and again now. He's now 73, and he heard from another lady that she is now going to pursue her best 10 years ever. And he said the other day on a live webinar from America that he decided the next 10 years, it's going to be the best years of his life. He's going to achieve more than anything else. And I've got the same. When I heard that, I decided that's exactly how I want to word it as well. Now, daydreaming makes you also more creative. If you go do research on it, daydreaming makes you more creative. Now, the dialogue in the brain access dormant information. If you start thinking about stuff and dreaming about stuff, there's some things happen in your subconscious mind that actually enable you to access dormant information you forgot about a long time ago. Now, Zig Ziglar said, if you think you can or you think you cannot, you are right. Guys, so you have to change your mindset. Because what he says is, if you think you cannot, you must know you won't be able to do it. Okay. And if you think you can, you will be able to do it. He said, in both cases, you are right. Now, Peter Daniel says, dreams work if people work. And he did research on the biggest empire builders in the world. You know, years ago, it was Ari Onassis. He was the Warren Buffett at that time, one of the richest guys in the world. So he would do research on them. And the one thing they all told him at the end of their lives is they regretted, the only regret they have is that they didn't think big enough. They were already the biggest in the world. But that just shows you that there's no limits on how big you can think. It might take time to get there, but you can think big. And it's a good thing to do it. And then Nelson Mandela, you know, an amazing example of a dream. When he was in the jail at court, down below down below the court, he knew he was going to be sentenced either to life or death penalty. But he had a dream of a new South Africa, and he wrote the Freedom Charter on the wall of the jail. Now, that was actually the preamble to the Freedom Charter, because he had the dream, and 30 years later, we saw that dream come true. Now, in my case, you know, I had dreams in the past. I always wanted to actually represent South Africa in anything. And I remember years ago, I played rugby, and I had a coach, John Short. He was a famous coach that time, and I broke my collarbone. And later on, and I went back to him at age 27, and I said, well, John, I want to become a Springbok in anything. And he said, Chart, why don't you just become a Springbok businessman or a Springbok husband? But, you know, I'll talk about that dream now, because I dreamed that it did become true at the end of the day. And also, I had a amazing brother-in-law that was a paratrooper, and he could tell the most fantastic stories about his army days. And I started dreaming that I was going to become a paratrooper. I actually replayed that stories in my head over and over again. And I was not a strong guy. I was a skinny guy, a long-distance runner. But when they eventually came to do the recruitment, we ended up countrywide. At the end, we were 387 people. And after the course, I think we were 85 people, and I made it. And it was one of my proudest days in my life, just that achievement, because I did dream it. I believe it actually happened. And another thing is, I started doing CrossFit at the age of 57. And I couldn't even squat without weights below my knees, you know. And I had the most amazing coaches that helped me. And eventually, you know, in CrossFit, I did quite well, and I qualified twice for the regional games. And then I ended up with amazing coaches in Johannesburg and started doing weightlifting and powerlifting. And on the podium there last year in Australia, I represented South Africa in weightlifting in the Masters Weightlifting Commonwealth Championships. And that came from a dream. And I've got new dreams. My new dreams is I want to, in the next 5 years, become the world champion in powerlifting in my age group and weight group. And the second thing I want to do, maybe even before that time, it was always a dream of mine. I want to be on stage in New York in front of a big audience. And I'm working towards that, and I'm dreaming, and I've got affirmations for that as well. Now, affirmations is an amazing thing. It works if you works, and if you can make it understandable. In our 120-day masterclass program, we're going to go deeper into how the neuroscience works, and how mind power works, and how affirmations work, and when does it work and when does it not work. But even as long ago as Muhammad Ali, he had affirmations, and he said it's the repetition of affirmations that leads to belief. And once that beliefs become a deep conviction, things begins to happen. So if you keep on saying, I cannot do things, I'm too poor, I haven't got the money, I haven't got the skills, you will never have it. You have to change the negative things you see and talk to about yourself to a positive thing. Words, God created everything by just speaking words. Words have got immense power, and it can either break down or it can build up. And we're not going into the detail of that, but we need to have dreams. And in the 120-day program, we're going into it much deeper. Then your dream can be weight loss or getting out of debt, financial freedom, dreams and fantasies, a dream job or new career, sport and fitness, traveling and holidays, happy marriage or dating, health and happiness. It doesn't matter what your dream is. This program and this 7 secrets, if you start applying it, you can achieve any of those. So dreams is not only about having a massive business, making a lot of money. It can be a lot of things. I've seen with this program, there's a lot of people that just want to fix relationships. Or they had a weight problem for a very long time, and they tried it all on their own, and it didn't work. Now, for my dreams, I've got a vision board. Now, what you can see here is in that corner on the left-hand side, I want to be a world champion in powerlifting, and I've got goals for that. I've got financial goals. I have got goals to improve myself and get better skills. And the block in the middle is where I want to talk to audiences internationally in all the big cities in the world. I want a good, balanced spiritual life, a happy family. And down at the bottom here, I want a house. One of my goals years ago was I wanted a house on every continent in the world. And now I am revisiting all of that. I've got this vision board, which I see every day, just to remind me when I do my affirmations. So I'm planning to have my best 10 years of my life while I'm still young. And this is what I believe, that I can do 10 times more than what I did in the last 40 years in the next 10 years of my life. And I'm quite serious about it. Now, secret number 2 is you must have a good coach. Now, who was the great coaches in your life, or mentors, or whatever it is? You know, if I can just share some of the good coaches that we all know, is obviously somebody like Rassie Erasmus. He was only appointed in 2017 as director of rugby, and in 2018 he also started to coach the Springboks. And in that time, they lost 4 times in a row against the All Blacks with about an average of 30 points. I mean, that is like seriously, it happened. I don't think it ever happened in the history. But he was just this amazing coach that could connect with the people, support them, help them, had the knowledge, provided the extra information, and we won the World Cup. And then somebody else, people might not have such good memories for him as a Springbok coach, but listen to this. When he started coaching the Bulls, in the first year of the Super Rugby series, his team lost every single game with a group of people which nobody really knew well. They had somebody from Griquas, that was Victor Matfield. And they had Fourie de Pree and Bakkies Botha and Mornay and all those people, but nobody knew them. In the second year, his team lost the first 2 games as well. But 3 years later, they won the first Super Rugby Cup, and then they won another 2. You know, only team in South Africa. He is a great coach and passionate about what he's doing. And then Tannie Ans. She's 75 years old. She saw Wayne van Niekerk and potential in him. And if you read her story, it's just amazing how she made him one of the best, not one of them, the best 400-meter athlete ever. Now, my business and personal coaches was a guy, Bernard van Niekerk. He was a business coach who years ago charged me, I think it was 3,000 Rand to be my coach. Now, that was the total turnover of my business. Today's terms, I think it's about 50,000 Rand. I was a young town planner. He charged me a whole month's turnover to become my business coach. But 3 months later, my turnover quadrupled. It became 12,000 Rand, which means in today's terms, nearly 200,000 Rand. And that just shows you what a good coach can do. And it was worthwhile paying that money to him. People thought I was totally cuckoos, but I had the results. And then Rian du Plessis, he's a leadership coach. The one thing he did help me with is first understand who you are before you try to reach your life goals. And then I think the guy recently that came into my life, Joel Brown, is an Aussie, and he's a life success coach. And some of the stuff my program is also based on is what I did learn from him. I did pay a lot of money for Joel Brown, but he has also transformed my life. If I can share it with you, well, let me just say it was a lot of money I had to pay him to become my coach. And then Kobus Firewalker Visser, he's my life and business coach at the moment. Without him, I wouldn't have been on the webinar. Thanks again, Kobus. You're an amazing person, and you're just such a good person and a good human being. And by the way, guys, Kobus have walked over red hot coals of 500 to 600 degrees 700 times without getting blisters. He understands the mind power thing. And then Robin Banks, which did give me so much information on mind power. And then Richard Harrington, he's my investment coach. He sits in Bali, but he did learn me a lot about investment. And I've got, for the first time in my life, a very good focus on investments. Now, sports coaches, in school, I was an average athlete, but I did very well at the end, and this guy just believed in me. And that's what a good coach do. He sees things you don't see, and he keeps you up there and help you. And then rugby coaches at Pretoria University, Neil Steyn and Puni Holm, and those guys that helped me. I was never a good rugby player at school. I think I played third team in Goutveld Hoërskool, but they helped me. I played under 20 for Tuks with people that became great Springboks like Naas Botha, Burger Geldnous, and those guys. And then this transformed my life at a late age. I started doing CrossFit, and I can tell you, any one of you that wants to become fit and better, don't even think of trying to get fit before you do it or go to a gym. Go to your nearest CrossFit box. It will change your life. And then I had Dylan Fyfie here in Pretoria and Lee and Martin, and what they did to me, slowly building me up, you know, where I couldn't squat without weights. I can now squat with 140 kilograms and deadlift 180 kilograms with the same knees and back that I thought would never be able to do it. And they gave me a total new lease on life physically. And then Joshua Capazorio, again, with powerlifting and weightlifting, he helped me to qualify for the World Champs in April now that was cancelled. Now, why did I go to him? Because he's the best. Recently in the Men's Health magazine, he was, of a lot of coaches, they rated him as the cleverest coach in South Africa. But he cost me a lot of money, but he gives me a lot of value. And without him, I wouldn't have even got to the dream of representing South Africa at the World Championships. And that's what a good coach does. And then his partner, Darren Anthony, with the weightlifting, that was our coach when we were in Australia. Now, why a good coach? Why do we need a good coach? I think, firstly, they've walked the road. My two last coaches, Darren and Josh, they were at the Olympic Games, you know, and they've got South African records. So they know how it works. They have the knowledge. They develop you. They give clarity to your dreams. They push you always further. They teach you new ways of thinking. They help you to reach your goals. And good coaches impact on all the other 7 secrets. They help you with your dreams and all the other things we'll get to now. Now, secret number 3 is, do you have written life goals? Does anyone here in this group have got written life goals? Just put a Y in if it's yes. I want you to please, guys, type it in for me. Just put a Y if you've got written life goals, or an N if you haven't got written life goals. Okay, Willie says he doesn't have written life goals. Kobus have, I know that because he's my coach. Nick, you said you have got written life goals. Renee, no. Lawrence, no. Hello, Lawrence. Lawrence was my partner in the shopping center in Polokwane, which we were lucky enough to sell just before the lockdown. That was amazing. And Lawrence is a fantastic guy. So guys, most of you don't have written life goals. Now, let me show you something. And this is scary. Some people think, they say, yes, I think I've got life goals. But here's the thing. Harvard University did a study on their MBA students, and they keep on doing it. And what they found, only 3% of the MBA students have got written life goals. And that 3% are earning 10 times more than the other 97%. Now, that is scary. That is scary. And by the way, Willie says he also got written life goals because he's got a coach. And his coach is also Mr. Firewalker. And that's why he's got written life goals. But, that 3%, they don't only earn more than the other 97%. They earn 10 times more than the other 97%. Now, isn't that, if this doesn't convince you that you should get written life goals, nothing will. Now, in my case, I had life goals at age 35 and now again at 64. And the other day I discovered this file of mine. You can see. And I had a file with written life goals. And some of those goals was that I will have a house on every continent in the world. And I revived that and a lot of other things. And today, I had a vision in 1989. I did not apply the Reinvent 7 secrets. I didn't have a coach. I was not part of a team and a lot of other things. Now, at age 64, I got written life goals again in detail. I've got, and we're going to talk about it now. And this time I do have a coach, and some of the goals are the same. And I even got a vision board that gives me the detail of my life goals so that I can see it. And I will keep on changing it as it gets more clear and clear. And I can dream about every part of the life. I've got romance here in it. I've got family. I've got holidays in, and we can share it now. So, first, before you start looking at life goals, what we do in our 120-day program, and if you're going to do this alone, I want you, before you do your life goals, I want you to first understand who you are. And firstly, what is your stories and why you cannot achieve success? A lot of people have got stories. They want to start a business and their story is, I don't have the money or I don't have the skills. But what I'm saying is that's a story. If you haven't got the money, if you've got a good business, you can lend the money, you can get partners in. The University of Cape Town did a study on new businesses and ventures, and they said, if you look at the 15 things that's necessary to start a good business, money is number 13 on the list. Because if you've got a good business model, the money will be there. The other thing is people say, I haven't got the skills or I can't lose weight because this is just how I was born. But we all have stories. You have to identify the story and then you have to have a method to overcome it. And that we share in our program. You have to challenge your belief system that was built up over many years. So you got fixed neuralistic pathways that have to be changed with big effort. You have to reprogram your mind to think differently, because you grew up with a lot of things, and you think, all of us think we know exactly what is right, and the next one as well, and the next one, and we're all different because we all got our own truth, because there was a lot of things that actually was parked in our brains over a long period of time. Just to give you an idea, we get 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day that come in and out our minds. And if we don't control it and decide what thoughts are we going to accommodate and what are we going to allow in our minds, then the environment controls us. We have to control our minds so that we can control what's on the outside. And then also our conscious mind can process 40 bits per second, while the unconscious mind, which we have to work on, it can actually process 11 million bits per second. And we go deeper into that when we do the 120-day program. Now, we have to identify and overcome our procrastination styles, and excuse that spelling mistake, and we have to find out what's holding us back. Once we've done that and we know what's holding us back, then we have to understand what is our existing wrong habits and change it to the right habits, find and understand your purpose. And I've got a nice exercise on purpose. If you wonder what your purpose is, and in this talk we can't go into the detail, you just draw a line and then you break it up in bits: primary school, high school, maybe university, work, first job, getting married later. And in every area of that line, above the line, you write what you really did well in that period in your life, that season in your life. And what is it that you did well, and what did you really enjoy? And below the line, what you did not enjoy. And if you look at that lifeline, you will find some similarities. And that similarities will start giving you an idea of what's your purpose. You can also, to find your purpose, talk to the people around you. They will be able to tell you, you know what, you're really good in the following thing. You can also read books to find it out, but it's not such a big issue to get your purpose once you know what your passion is, because purpose follows passion. So overcome lifelong issues and challenges. Then we have to then develop a 10-year vision, a 1-year vision, 120-day goals and action plan, and a vision board, daily affirmations that actually goes with that actions. And we have to have clear plans and goals, and obviously a coach to keep us accountable, and a team that keeps us accountable. Now, we start with a 10-year vision, and then we break it down to a 1-year vision, and then we break it down to 120-day goals and action plans for every part of our life, for all the 8 areas of our life. We do that. So, guys, you know what it's like. We always got New Year resolutions. And this is something that happened with all of us. And then halfway through the year, this is what we look like. No dreams and affirmations, no coach, no written vision and goals, no clear purpose or values, poor physical condition, old stories and procrastinations. And the 120-day masterclass program, we will have all of that to support. Now, Carl Jung, which was an amazing psychologist and wise man, he said, "I'm not what happened to me, I'm what I chose to become." Now, it is proven that where you are now has got nothing to do with your parents. It's got nothing to do with what happened around you. It's got nothing to do with Corona. It can maybe in the short term, but it's 95% of what I chose to do. Because even somebody said the other day, "But you don't understand in what bad marriage I am." And, the answer to that person was, "But you can decide what you do with that marriage. If it really doesn't work, make a plan." But anything that where you are is actually 95% about, and we can't go into detail now, but believe me, it's got to do with what you chose to become. And then secret number 4, who are your team and community? And guys, Jim Rohn, amazing life coach, said, you become the 5 people you would mix with most. And here's a nice story. When I was in the army, I was destined to go to Welkom back and become a technical draftsman on the mines. Because I had a B for technical drawing, that was my best subject. I had a C and 2 Ds and 2 Es, and E was for enough. But in the platoon I was in the team I was, or the section of 10 guys, all of them were on their way to university. Their fathers worked at university, or was an architect, or whatever it is. I remember all of them. And they just talked about their brothers in university and sisters and how great it is. And I never even thought about it, because none of our 8 children went there. You either finished your schooling, standard 8, and became an artisan. I made standard 10, and just as you heard, I just made it. But after a year of mixing with those guys, my father got a loan of 500 Rand at Welkom City Council. And I did apply for university. Now, in that time, you wrote a letter, and it takes a week to get there, and a week later you get the application forms, you complete it, you mail it again, and another 2 weeks they tell you you've actually been accepted. And I took my mother's red suitcase and I hitchhiked to Pretoria. It was safe then. I remember I slept next to the street, to the road on my way to Pretoria, because I didn't get enough lifts. I arrived in Pretoria at the Fountain Circle and started asking people, where's the university, and walked to the university. And when I arrived at the admin building, everybody was there with their parents, and they had ties on, and I slept next to the road, had my valleys and denim on. But I had confidence because I was in the army already. And I did all my admin stuff there, took the bus to the hostel, and I started studying and got my degrees. But that would never have happened if I was in the section next to us. All of them were on their ways to the mine, nothing wrong with that, and I would have been a draftsman and maybe still in Welkom. So you become like the 5 people you mix with. And here's a tip which you can take away with you tonight. Go list the 5 people you mix with most, and try and figure out if there's people you mix with that's really doing very well, that are doing stuff of your life dreams. And if you haven't got those people in your life, find them. And if you can't find them in your daily life, start reading books about great people like Peter Daniels, Jim Rohn, and John Keogh, because you can also mix with the right people by reading books. But you have to find different people in your life, else you will just stay stuck where you are. Remember that. So the most successful individuals in the world was part of a team and community. In my experience, I had amazing school friends in Welkom. Even the rich guys, I remember this one friend of mine, we stayed in that little house, but they had a double-story house. And a double-story was amazing. It was just like extremely luxury. And they even had a swimming pool and a trampoline, and his father had an airplane. I mean, but the people in Welkom was of such a nature, they didn't look down on you. And the fact that I could mix with them also opened my eyes. I had good friends. I had amazing family. The friends in Parachute Battalion, the CrossFit friends, the weightlifting friends, the powerlifting, the Addicted to Success groups of Joel Brown, which also changed my life, and then the Mind Power groups and the Destiny Summit speakers, of which I was part in the last month. And we can't do it all on our own. We must have assistance. We do not have all the skills. My wife, daughter, and sons always supporting me. My spiritual Christian brothers, wonderful personal assistants I had over the years. They just made my life very easy. So if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others. So this is the other thing. If you embark on anything, let's say you just want to lose weight. If you haven't got somebody that's doing it with you, whether it's way less or whatever it is, you won't go far. You will maybe start fast, but you won't go far. So make a note of that. Then secret number 5, who's keeping you accountable? The definition of accountability is being assigned assigned a responsibility for something to be done. If you pay, you feel more accountable. You can trust me, guys. Pay for a coach. If it is weight loss, get a good coach, pay for it. Even if you have to sell something, even if you have to stop your television license, that 500, 700 or 1,000 rand a month, you're going to be so proud after a few months achieving your goals by stopping your television license, stop drinking coffee, sell stuff you have that you don't use, but invest in yourself. There's always ways to get the money. Organize terms. Do not try to go the cheap route, you will lose out. Okay, Kobus Visser started the cheap route. He tried it on his own. At his first firewalk, which he organized, only one guy pitched. And at the second one, nobody pitched. And then he started to learn the lessons. And he started investing money in himself. Over the last 8 years, he spent 100,000 rand a year on himself. And earlier in the year, he was on stage before 6,000 people. And that's important. So accountability leads to success. And then the fact of the matter is that successful people are accountable. And Dr. Bill Price also says, what you don't plan for, you'll get the consequences as a gift. If you don't plan, you can take any route, you will end up nowhere. And thanks for being here, Dr. Bill. You're just an amazing person as well. So secret number 6, what keeps you consistent? You know, you probably have seen the story of the race to the South Pole. It's on one of the financial services companies' ads. Robert Scott was an Englishman who had all the equipment, the best team of scientists and everybody, and they were on their way to try and be the first people at the South Pole. So what they did is, when it was a good day, they would go 30 kilometers. When it was a bad day, they would sit in the tents and wait. And Roald Amundsen from Norwegian, he and his team didn't have any of those equipment and stuff. But what they decided is they will do the same distance every day. So it was 20 Ks every day. Good weather, they just stopped at 20 Ks. Bad weather, they did their 20 Ks, 20 kilometers. And Roald Amundsen won Robert Scott by far to the South Pole. So consistency is very important. Whenever you start something, guys, you just have to push through. If it's sore, if it takes time, if you're tired, you have to push through. That is a great example. And then here's the definition of consistency. It is difficult but powerful, but it's easy when there's a vision. And Kobus, the firewalker, who had only one person at his first event and nobody at the second one. And he said what he did learn from God is, he will give you gratification if he can see you are keeping on trying. And then Colonel Saunders, you know, who had the right spices for Kentucky, which is today Kentucky, he had the spices and he went to the first chicken shop and they said no. When he got to the 10th one, they also said no. To the 100th one, they said no. He eventually got this spices, somebody to buy into this spices of his when it was 1,009 people. Now, guys, he was in his 60s when this happened. So he was not a young guy, but he had that consistency and persistence as well. And 3 years later, Kentucky Fried Chicken was franchised worldwide. Now, I've got my lifting family there on the left-hand side. I'm with our South African world champ boxer, and here's my weightlifting family who make sure that I will be consistent. I know they're going to be at the gym, and I have to be there as well, and the coach is there as well. And that just creates that feeling of belonging, and we do it in our 120-day masterclass program. That's what we do. We are on a WhatsApp group. We once a week all talk to each other on a webinar, and in that way we help each other, support each other, and also give a lot of advice to each other. Now, secret number 7 is you need skills and knowledge. And there's a saying, don't let your studies ever get into the way of your education and knowledge. Formal education will make you a living. And a lot of us did have formal education, and we are making a living. But self-education will make you a fortune. You have to, when you pursue your dreams, you have to start studying things. What works, what does not work, what do I need more? If it's about investments, I have to study about investments. There's no easy way. You know, hello, Louis from Midrand. It's nice to see you here as well. And knowledge power? Anyone? Can you just put a Y in or an N in? Is knowledge power? Anybody can type in, what do you think is knowledge power? Renee says yes. Anybody else? Is knowledge power? Rian says no. Anybody else? Okay, guys. Let me share with you. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Because we can have all the knowledge in the world, but we must apply it. And you can walk away with that as well. Get knowledge. If ever you have a dream, start studying it. Years ago, Paul J. Meyer said, if you want to get really enthusiastic about something, you will, the number one trigger or lever for that is to get more knowledge. Once you've got more knowledge, you actually get more enthusiastic about something. And then the one morning I spent with Peter Daniels, and he was on stage, I was not even alone. It was 35 years ago. I spent 2,500 Rand. It is worth 36,000 Rand today. So imagine you pay 36,000 Rand to listen to somebody for a morning. I just decided I had to do it because I read all his books. And it was worthwhile because that catapulted me into a new dimension. This year so far, I have spent 100,000 Rand on 5 programs to change my life. And it's not as if I had the cash lying around. I had to eat into the bond of the house and other cash that I did have. But it was worth every cent so far. It's changing my life. Start reading to know more about any dream or goal you have. Google have amazing success stories. If you go to Goalcast, www.goalcast.com, there is just amazing stories of success. And then there's also amazing inspirational examples of anything: weight loss, fitness, investments, financial freedom. You know, there's a lot of information. Or to overcome any challenge. It's never too late to be what you might have been. It's never too late to be what you might have been. And guys, I've got a passion for this because I saw this work in a lot of people's lives. And that's what George Eliot says. So I shared with you tonight, you must have unlimited dreams. You must have the right coach. You must have clear written vision and goals and a mindset and a team and community, accountability, consistency, and skills and knowledge. And obviously, in this short period of time, I can only go so deep into each of those. So if you're interested to go deeper into it, join our 120-day program that starts on the 4th of August. Now, what I covered in this session, was it valuable? The 7 secrets. Secrets. Why do I say it's secrets? Because that is stuff that we all know about. We've seen it in our lives. You know why it's secrets? Because we have never applied it well. And we haven't seen the connection between the 7 secrets. That's why. I shared some real life examples. The recording will be available for 30 days. You know, we'll send it out next week with some freebies, some templates and links, and then a freebies and a bonus. Now, I will send out a vision template, a 120-day action plan template, a timeline template to determine purpose, a book summary, Think and Grow Rich, we will also send out to you, and then the book, The Ordinary Millionaire, The 7 Secrets of the Happy, Healthy, and Wealthy. It's an amazing book, written by Atu and partners, the Financial Services Group. So I've got a 120-day masterclass program as well. So firstly, the lessons I gave you, and I hope you did make notes. If you did not, you will get the templates and the slides, and you can go and apply it in your life. But I also got the 120-day masterclass program. And for those that are interested, it's there's 12 live 90-minute group coaching sessions. It starts on the 4th of August. It's from 7 o'clock to 8:30 in the evening. It will be on Zoom. So we will all be able to see each other. We'll all be able to share and talk about our ideas and how far we are. And for those that's battling to put the stuff together, to give them advice and take them by the hand. And we got an amazing group of people so far. We've got more than 20 people so far on this group. And I believe we're going to end up with about 40, but it's all quality people on the group so far. Then we will have a life goal manual that will go out weekly in advance so that you can work on it and complete it and prepare for when we get into the sessions. You will be a member of the private Facebook group and the Telegram group, and there will be 4 free 60-minute live sessions with international speakers. And they usually cost a lot of money, and they have got a lot of value that they will bring, but I am connected to them, and I convinced them to come onto the program to share specific issues with us. And we will be covering things that's important to change our minds, on the mind issues and psychological things. We will have people that share with us on investments. We will have business, sport, etc., and fitness, and obviously nutrition. You will be a lifelong member of the R7S monthly masterclass. So when this program ends and there's another program going and there's other speakers coming in, you will be a lifelong member of that for free. So whenever you want to go attend any of these classes later on, you will be part of it. And we will also, now I just want to share, Ben, and you are here tonight. Thanks for this nice message you gave. I'm just going to read one part of it. Ben, I've got a business that we're really down in a deep hole with the lockdown. He's in a business that bakes the most amazing pies and cookies and stuff. And we started working together. And the amazing thing about Ben is whenever we decide on things, he just get it done. He's so passionate. He was head boy of his school, and after school he started selling pies, and that's what he still does today. And he built up a magnificent business. And I think with everything we did together, this business is now starting to make profits it never made before. And the part in yellow says, on a personal and professional level, I've started to gain control of my life and also saw how doing things right rather than fast makes all the difference. Thank you, Chart, for your valuable guidance on my journey. I'm the business coach for Ben. And then Louis Ferreira has been my partner for many years. And thank you for this. His unique combination of business experience, life experience, skills, knowledge, and honest concern for others gives Chart a mature and trustworthy, teachable point of view, which promises real benefit and growth to anybody who engages with him. And then Rian Duplessis, we were also my coach, but we do a lot of work together on strategy and leadership alignment with corporate companies and small companies. He says, I was always surprised at Chart's level of knowledge and insight when it comes to business coaching. I often refer people to Chart. And here's the most amazing stories. I have got 3 stories like this where I had women who were in a situation where they were down in the dumps. Now, about Zareta, I can just say the following. When I met her, she didn't have a job. She was not studying. She didn't have a car. She didn't have a cell phone. She stayed with family. She borrowed her father's phone. I started working with her, and we started focusing on getting a dream, getting goals. And our goals was to first get a cell phone, then get a car, make sure she's got a job and she's studying. And I eventually appointed her. And when she left me, a few years later, and she also didn't have a boyfriend. When she left me a few years later, she had a phone, she had a car. She was nearly finished with a degree in industrial psychology. She got married, she have a husband now, and she's got a child, and she's finishing her studies this year. And this is in a period of about 4 years that all happened with her. And she says, Chart encouraged me to think critically about my future and set dedicated plans to become the person I truly want to become. After drawing up and successfully completing my 3 to 5 year plan, as instructed, I can now say that I have acquired my degree. I'm driven, focused, and happy and thankful. Chart motivated, facilitated, and created a space for me to grow into the person I was truly meant to be, and I will never know how to thank him enough for that. And why do I share this with you? Just to show you that it works for anything, not just for business. You know, I've got the most amazing people I work with. Okay, so if you want to join me, take action today. I want to just show you what's the value of what I have here. The masterclass value is about 40,000 Rand. The manual about 2,500 Rand. The speakers I get, what they usually are value at is between 48 and 60,000 Rand. You'll be a lifelong member, and the Telegram group. Now, that adds up to, I'm not even going to add it up. It's you can see it's a lot of money. But what I do have here tonight is 4,999 Rand, a once-off payment, valid for 24 hours for the 4-month masterclass group. If you cannot do that, 4 monthly payments of 1,500 Rand. And you will see there's a link at the bottom of the screen. If you click on that, it will take you to Pay Fast to pay for that. But here's the bonus. After I did the first session like this and did get such good response to it, I decided that anybody that signs up, either with a 4,900 Rand or with a 5 monthly payments of 1,500 Rand, you can introduce anybody, either your wife or a friend or one of your children that you want to let do the course with you, which means you actually pay half the amount now. And you can just, when you signed up, send me their email information and name and telephone number, and they will go onto this group that's already there. So, guys, what I want to say is this 120-day coaching group support to address your procrastination types and fears, to discover your purpose and change your habits. What will the cost be if you don't do it today? So you might say, but I really haven't got the money today. If you stop your television subscription, you will already have enough money to pay for it, or a big part of it already. And I'm sure if you do that and you stop drinking coffee or anything else, you will have enough money to do that. And that might put you in a position to earn, and I can tell you, I've just seen it happening, to earn 4 times more than what you're earning today in money-wise, to actually have the physique you want to have the relations you have, and to get to your dreams. Remember what my cost was. I wasted 31 years. So if I didn't do that at that time, I wouldn't have had to work today. And, you just have to consider that. There is always a way to do it. So, guys, if you want to join the program, click on the link below and register today because we want to start with this program on the 4th of August. We've got a fantastic group of people that, other than the value I will bring with the program, they're going to bring a lot of value to each other. Business people, people that's just amazing personalities, and we would like you to join us in this. I think, Kobus, are you still on? Can you talk? Okay, it seems like he's not available. What I want to say is we will make the link available for you. And you can also just maybe take a screenshot of that link and go into it anytime. But I would say if you can, click on it tonight, register for the program, and here's my email address and my cell phone number. Take a screenshot of it or a photograph, and if you want to discuss it with me or any of the payment terms or at a later stage, you can send me a mail, you can phone me. You're most welcome to do any of that.
Well done, Chart. I am here, so you can just finish off. Thank you for an awesome webinar, and you let me know when you finish, and then I will stop the webinar. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I think, guys, I'm going to say goodbye. I enjoyed being on this webinar with you, and thank you for attending. Thanks a lot. Kobus, thank you. And thank you for assisting. A pleasure, George. It was awesome to be part of your webinar. I did you very well. Thank you for everyone that attended. Yeah, the recordings will be out, the emails will be out soon, and you can also go watch the video live, and we will send the recording of the video as well. If there's any question, please reach out. George, thank you for your time. Have a beautiful night. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Okay. Well. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.